Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another Unsigned Sunday video, and as I always say in these, if you have not seen one before, it is exactly what it sounds like. I reserve Sunday videos for unsigned bands who have submitted their material to be considered for Unsigned Sunday videos on the channel. Today I'm going to be checking out a band I have heard a lot about. I've listened to one track from them and it was on live stream. They've just put out an album. The band is called Fiends. I will link all of their social media, any sort of promotional links in the description of this video. Make sure you check them out. I've heard a lot of, like I said, great things about them. If you are in an unsigned band and want to be added to the very long list of bands I have that have submitted their material to be considered for Unsigned Sunday, please email the music along with whatever I may need for editing, like logos, any sort of information about the band, merch links, that sort of thing, over to rachelreacts@gmail.com. I will put that email address in the description of this video, but please only use it if you are in the band who is submitting. I have quite a long list to work through, so that is how we are keeping it at this time. So I've already mentioned the band I'll be checking out. The track is called Rented Mental. It was a single off of the album. I haven't heard any non-singles yet, but I'm hoping to get at least one more video on the channel for this band. Other than that, I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it. Really interesting chorus.
You've been thieving my brain. Time to decide. I will have it my way. Oh. I won't falter. Framework altered. Surrender vengeance. Pull back now.
Fiends, Rented Mental. Let's discuss. This is great at the same time as it's heavy. It's got that like chunkiness to it, and from the very intro riff and instrumentals that accompany that, moving forward to that outro breakdown, it's got that chunk to it, but at the same time where the singing is, where the synthy parts of the song are, like if you listen to just that intro and how it gets kind of like sparkly is the way that I often describe that sort of synth that almost sounds like music box type of style, you know what I mean, probably. If not, re-listen to that intro and it'll probably stick out to you, but at the same time as it has like that chunk to it, that aggression, some of the bendier riffs, it also has a very nice contrast to that with the singing, with the synth, with some of the parts that provide some contrast to that heaviness, to that chunk that is very present in this track. I think going into this and not having heard much of it, and probably doing at least another video with 2 songs on it to kind of get further into this record, expectations are high. I think from what I've heard, which is only one other track off of this album, there is potential for some stuff to rise above what I think this song may do for me. While I really like it, I think the potential that they've laid down, even in 2 songs that I've heard off of this record, kind of exceeds what this is, though it's a very solid song, if that makes sense. I don't really think there's anything this is missing or that misses the mark at all. It's a very exciting new band, Fiends being Unsigned, Fiends being a band kind of coming into the scene. I haven't heard too much about them prior to this release, where I've heard a lot more buzz about them. I think this kind of lives up to that hype and definitely delivers on it. Does, like I mentioned, it doesn't miss the mark at all. That chunk is something that's really attractive about the song. Some of the parts that move maybe a little bit slower, have that heaviness to them, that kind of resonates with like the catchier parts of it, a little bit groovy. That sort of stuff really sticks out to me, so no different for this track. I think even the parts that kind of slow it down, have some singing in there, they have this persistence from the drumming, whether that be from a cymbal or what that may be. I think that was something that stuck out to me on my first listen through this track. It definitely has me interested to listen through the album, because while I really like the screams and the more aggressive parts of the track, I love the singing as well, and the synthy bits that I have mentioned that are present throughout all of this track. But really what you get kind of even in that intro with the sparkly sort of stuff that I was talking about, that really sticks out to me. It's a sound that I love, something that I think a band that I'm planning on doing a video for today that has a new track. If you listen through the band Shokran's discography, they have some really cool approaches with their synth that I think give off that same vibe. And again, that's only based off of like a synth perspective, I guess. It's something that really attracted me to some of their songs much more, though. And though I feel like it's a rather minor detail in the grand scheme of things with this track, I still think it was a detail that was appreciated by me nonetheless. Vocals are very strong, as I mentioned. I love the screaming, but also really, really like the singing and what that kind of lays down, along with the instrumentation that they picked to accompany it. Just kind of lays down some exciting material, knowing they have a full album that's been released since this. So I've got a lot of work to do with this band, but I am excited to at least get one of the singles on the channel with the full video. I know they had submitted for Unsigned Sunday, so seeing that email and knowing that they're a band that's on my radar anyway, that things just sort of aligned perfectly for them to be this week's Unsigned Sunday. Going into this and not really having heard a ton from the band, there's nothing I really feel comfortable saying I would want differently from this, because it's still a band I'm checking out, getting into. There was nothing that was like a big miss for me on this song. It was very solid. So this does have me excited to check out the rest of the album. Like I mentioned, I will link all of their social media, promotional links, all of that will be linked in the description of this video. Make sure you give the album a run through, which I'm very much planning on doing. You should see at least one more video on the channel that features Fiends. If you have any suggestions for your favorite tracks off of the album aside from this one, please feel free to drop them in the comments so I can consider that for whatever my next video for Fiends will be. Like I mentioned, nothing I would really want different from this. I hope to see a little bit more of that, what they'll do with like the singing, the synthier bits of it, but also that ending breakdown and sort of the bendier, more aggressive parts of this track have me just excited for what the heavier portions of the album will hold as well. So those are really my thoughts upon first hearing this track. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the album, what songs you would like to see me feature on my next Fiends video, aka which tracks are your favorite off of the record. Unless those are different, then also let me know what those are. Other than that, that's really it. You can also find my link tree in the description, which will have my Twitch channel, my Patreon, the Discord server invite link. Any link that's really relevant to my channel should be there in that link tree. I have moved my streaming over to Twitch. That includes Tuesday request streams. Any sort of music-related streaming I'm doing, that will take place on Twitch if you want to give me a follow there to see when I go live. Also on my Patreon, I am offering more now, but still have a few more things to roll out to be offered in those tiers. But everything I'm currently offering is listed in them. The mixtape / playlist for tier 3, a monthly video, well, really more often than monthly, but extra videos on the channel, some kind of going over my monthly recap, stuff like that. So if that interests you at all, please feel free to check out the Patreon. Also, the Discord server is where the community is based for my YouTube channel. So if you're interested in coming and join, check out what the community is like. A bunch of music lovers having both music related and conversation completely unrelated to music as well. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.